What makes Fortnite so damn fun? This is a question that a lot of people have trouble answering, myself included. What is it about this Battle Royale game that's just so damn fun? What about it makes it feel so goddamn satisfying even when you lose? While there could be a million and one different reasons as to why this is the case, I feel as though I have boiled it down to 6 real reasons that Fortnite is the massive juggernaut that it is today. There is a saying that goes, good graphics does not equal good gameplay, and no better is that proven than here. I've looked in on the PUBG versus Fortnite debate and seen the arguments on both sides. I've also had the opportunity to play both games, and I can safely say that in the gameplay department, Fortnite is definitely the winner here. There is a definite and distinct feel to the game that just makes it the clear winner. It's difficult to describe it if you've never played the game before, but there's a certain fluidity to the movement, and the cartoonish aesthetic gives a sense of satisfaction and charm to the player character. The gunplay is a mixture of hit-scan weapons and projectiles in the same vein as Overwatch. However, the guns have the hit scan or projectile properties since players have the ability to find different weapons in the world and in chests. There are multiple play modes with solo play, duo play, and playing in a squad of 4 being the standard modes. Timed additional modes like the all gold everything and the 50v50, and special game modes like the Juggernaut mode Avengers movie tie-in with Thanos make appearances every so often to throw a wrench in the gameplay and make things new and fresh, which brings me to my next point.
The end is near.
Fortnite has a wealth of content that keeps being added and balanced as the game changes and evolves into something bigger and better than it was when it first released. There have been items removed and added and changed to stay fresh and relevant in the world of the Battle Royale, and it's done a world of good for the game and encourages people to come back and play and see what is new and different in the game. Some of the newest additions, weapons like the plunger bomb and the addition of new cosmetic items like backpacks, offer up chances to keep coming back to play and try out the game in new and exciting ways. New item additions like the Portafort take the current gameplay meta and forces players to think and play in different ways. The ingenious Battle Pass system, which has now been adopted in other free-to-play games like Paladins, is another great way to retain the player base that they have accrued by making cosmetic items available to anyone who can play enough to unlock that tier. Personally, however, I would have appreciated it if the Battle Pass style of unlocking items was more viable for people like me, who hasn't bought a single Battle Pass since they were introduced. One day. With different additions and updates, Epic Games are pretty much guaranteeing that the players that are currently in the game at this point are getting the best possible version of the game, and that gameplay doesn't get stale. Not that it could, since there are tons of different combinations of games that could possibly play out because of the random nature of the game. Which brings me to my next point. What I think really makes this game as incredible as it is the fact that you are not guaranteed a good hand at the beginning of every game. Every time you drop onto the island, you have no idea whether or not the area you drop in will yield X number of chests, whether there will be guns and ammo, as well as not knowing if you'll be the only person where you drop or if you'll have to try and fight your way out. There is enough randomness in this game to, by default, keep every game fresh and interesting. Your ability to adapt and evolve is really what gets you the win if you're good enough. Plus, the slot machine aspect of the chest loot makes it that much more satisfying when you find a legendary weapon. Truly great Fortnite players are masters of using the tools that they are given to come out with a victory royale. So, as we all know, Fortnite was not the original Battle Royale, but it is the most realized version of the genre, and that is probably the major reason why Fortnite has gained as much traction as it has so far. A good majority of this ties right back to the gameplay and how it feels so good, but the reason for that is because all of the other versions of the Battle Royale genre are, for lack of a better term, garbage. This is purely from a gameplay perspective. For example, PUBG, the biggest competitor of Fortnite in every way, is much more realistic, both in gameplay and in graphics. The problem lies in the fact that even though PUBG is the originator of the genre, its execution of it is pretty subpar. PUBG is much more methodical. This slows down the gameplay and turns the game into a third-person tactical shooter. While there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, the slow, thought-out playstyle of PUBG is in stark contrast to the wild and sometimes chaotic gameplay of the Fortnite version of the game mode. There are also multiple versions of the Battle Royale genre that I personally haven't tried yet, but stay true to the PUBG style. I bring all this up to say that in terms of gameplay, other Battle Royale genres have taken the realistic approach, which means that Fortnite is the outlier in terms of control and stylistic choice, attracting people in the process. The game just looks really good. Texturing, animation, characterization, locale, everything comes together to turn Fortnite into a damn good looking game. And with the recent 60 FPS patch on consoles, the game runs buttery smooth. All of the competition and every version of their respective Battle Royale games all run at 30 FPS or slower in the case of effects overloading and slowdown. At the time of this recording, Call of Duty's Blackout entry into the world of the Battle Royale has not yet been released. So, as of right now, Fortnite has the best looking, most polished version of the genre, and until Blackout arrives later this year, I don't see that changing anytime soon. Other versions of the Royale genre suffer from ugly texture syndrome, where textures don't render properly or pop in when you enter the rendering distance. Some are just designed badly in general in the case of Radical Heights, which actually shut down the studio that developed it. A big problem with most Battle Royale genre style games is that they are incredibly generic looking. Shared textures and limited customizations give these games a samey sort of vibe to them. Here's the reason why that I believe most people have gravitated towards Fortnite. The Battle Royale mode of this game is free. As most people know, there are two modes to the Fortnite formula: the Save the World paid 4-person co-op mode and the 100-man Battle Royale, and the one that people are most interested in is free. In comparison, Fortnite's main competitor, PUBG, has a premium in order to play the game, and there are noted problems with the game in its current state. With this in mind, it would seem that the polished version of the genre, which is also free, looks much more attractive. Plus, the low cost of the Battle Pass makes the cosmetic progression a justifiable purchase for more reward for playing time. In reality, you can play Fortnite like myself, not putting a single penny in the game and still having a great time. But the wealth of skins, emotes, and dances are attractive enough to make the purchase tempting. In my experience with PUBG, there is nothing in the game that would justify my spending hours playing the game for little to no cosmetic reward. In the end, Epic Games has checked off just about every box there is to ensure that their game is as successful as it can be. On top of putting out an amazing polished version of a relatively new genre, they are continuously adding to the game and tweaking it to ensure that their game, which is already fun, continues to bring joy to people's lives even after hundreds of hours of in-game time.